All right, Julia, thank you. Well, 4 people are in the hospital after an overnight crash in West Dallas. It happened on Highway 408 northbound near the West Keys Boulevard exit. They say a small sedan and box truck crashed, leaving multiple people injured. The 4 people involved were left with serious injuries. Lanes were closed for several hours while officers investigated. A North Texas first responder was honored for his heroic action in a deadly crash in Tarrant County. It happened in September on Labor Day, southwest of Benbrook. 4 people were killed in the multi-vehicle crash. One of them was a mother who was on her way home to Burleson. A volunteer firefighter for Crescent Fire responded to the crash, saving a man from a burning car. Vania Castillo has more.
I spoke with a firefighter who says this scene is one that'll stick with him for the rest of his life, not just because of the tragic loss, but because of the people who stepped in.
I struggled with this call for a little bit. That's being completely honest. I'm not afraid to admit it.
It was Labor Day night in Tarrant County just after 8:24 p.m. when a call came in. Multiple cars, people trapped in a vehicle on fire. Among those rushing to the scene was Crescent Volunteer Fire Department's Operation Chief Richard Ward. He didn't know it yet, but he was about to make the kind of decision that defines a life.
It was pretty quick. I honestly don't really remember everything that I kind of did. It just the training kicked in.
3 minutes and 53 seconds after dispatch, Ward pulled up to chaos. Debris, human remains, a burning car.
So we've had some pretty gruesome accidents, and this is definitely top 3. Honestly, it's probably the top one I've ever seen that's this gruesome.
So gruesome that we can only show this cropped clip of the heroic rescue. What you can't see is Ward running to the wreck where he found a woman strapped in the passenger seat. Her injuries fatal. Ward cut her seatbelt, pulled her remains free, and then crawled through the front to reach the driver's seat where a man was still alive and trapped.
I kind of tunnel visioned, and it was just like, hey, that guy's breathing and he needs to come out one way or another.
In just 1 minute and 15 seconds, Ward rescued the driver, triaged 6 patients, and called for ambulances and a helicopter. Within 32 minutes, everyone was transported. The driver Ward pulled from that burning car survived.
I really wasn't focusing on the fire. I mean, yes, I saw it, I could feel it, but it wasn't like I was like, hey, there's a fire there. Like, you just kind of know it's there, and you put it in the back of your mind to get the job done. 4
people died that night. 3 others were badly hurt, but 1 lived because Ward didn't hesitate. But he says it wasn't him alone that deserves the credit, and shares it with the strangers who disappeared before he could thank them.
I had help of bystanders, and honestly, without those bystanders, I couldn't have been able to do it all by myself, so I do thank them. So I kind of wish they were here to get the recognition too, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did.
Ward was honored by the Crescent Fire Department and the CT 100 Club. I'm Vania Castillo, Fox 4 News.
A town hall was held in Fort Worth to discuss the Texas Education Agency's takeover plan for Fort Worth ISD. State Representative Gina Hinojosa hosted the meeting. She was joined by teacher associations and other community partners. Now, they talked about the takeover and how it will affect students, parents, and district staff. She also discussed Governor Greg Abbott's role in the takeover. Now, by the way, she is running against him in 2026. The TEA could make a decision to boot the district's board members and appoint their own. This marks the 2nd largest takeover in state history. The largest was the Houston ISD in 2023. Well, the government shutdown has entered its 2nd month, and there is still uncertainty when it comes to SNAP benefits for millions of Americans. People across the country lined up for free meals and basic necessities Saturday. The Department of Agriculture planned to withhold payments to the food program this weekend, but 2 federal judges ordered the White House to use its contingency fund to keep it going. President Trump has asked the court to clarify how to, quote, legally fund it. Alexandria Huff has more.
A federal judge has given the Trump administration until Monday to explain how it will temporarily fund SNAP so that its approximate 42 million recipients will receive deposits eventually this month. On Friday, the USDA was ordered to use funds from an emergency reserve. The president says his administration will comply, but is seeking legal clarification first, writing, "If we are given the appropriate legal direction by the court, it will be my honor to provide the funding, just like I did with military and law enforcement pay." Now, the Trump administration had argued that it could not tap into the emergency fund to make SNAP deposits because money tied to an inactive program during the government shutdown can't be released. Democrats are calling the legal clarity request an excuse.
It's called a contingency fund, and by law, contingency fund can only flow when the underlying fund is flowing.
The courts have been clear, and the morality of it is clear. The Trump administration needs to release these benefits.
The White House also warning that emergency food funds simply won't last, and depleting the reserve puts Americans at risk if a future emergency were to unfold. For now, nonprofits have stepped in to try and fill the shutdown void. At NRG Stadium, the Houston Food Bank hosted a major distribution event for federal workers and SNAP recipients. Similar displays taking place across the country. The president maintains that all of this could be avoided if Democrats would pass the same clean funding bill that the House has already approved. At the White House, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
All right, stay tuned for Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bream. It airs at 8 right here on Fox 4. Well, online food shopping and delivery company Instacart is offering help to those who have lost some of their federal benefits during the government shutdown. Instacart says it's giving customers 50% off their next grocery delivery to anyone who receives benefits through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Active SNAP customers can get half off on purchases up to $50. Also, eligible Instacart customers who used EBT SNAP benefits at any point in October will get a personalized discount code by email, which can be redeemed at any of 30,000 stores that accept SNAP payments through Instacart. The discount offers are good through the end of November. Well, voters will head to the polls on Tuesday to vote on 17 amendments to the state constitution. Now, there are also multiple local issues on the ballots. 5 school districts are having elections for their board of trustees. Now, there are also tax rate elections in 7 school districts, and 4 school districts are having bond elections. So for a breakdown of the key issues that will be on your ballot this election season, just go to the Fox Local app. Fox 4 Stephen Dial, Sean Rabb, and experts, they're going to take a closer look at many of those issues, including efforts to reform the Texas bail system and to secure the state's water supply. You can download Fox Local for free on your phone or smart TV. All right, the World Series came to an end, and only one team came in the reigning champion. We'll recap all that action coming up. And it was a do-or-die situation for FC Dallas. Coming up on Good Day Sunday, we'll tell you if they're headed back to Vancouver for another first-round MLS playoff elimination game.
And it's going to be a gorgeous and cool end to your weekend, but high pressure is going to dominate for the work week. I'll have that full forecast coming up.
Smith, it's a high fly ball to deep left field. It's got a chance. It is gone.
All right, the pride of Highland Park High School pitcher Clayton Kershaw celebrates Will Smith's 11th inning home run in Game 7 of the World Series. Toronto had a chance in the bottom of the inning, but a game-ending double play lifted LA to its second consecutive World Series championship. The Dodgers won 5-4 in 11 innings.
Just really elated and really proud of our team, our guys, the way we fought, and we've done something that hasn't been done in decades. And you know, there were so many, as we talked earlier, so many pressure points and how that game could have flipped, and we just kept fighting, and, you know, guys stepped up big. So I could just go on and on about, you know, the big plays, the big performances, and, you know, this is one of the greatest games I've ever been a part of.
The Dodgers are baseball's first repeat champion since the 1998 to 2000 New York Yankees. All right, FC Dallas this season is over. Last night at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Petar Musa put the home team ahead, but Vancouver found a way to even the match with a goal during stoppage time. FC Dallas needed to win on penalty kicks to send the match back to Vancouver, but the Whitecaps outscored FC Dallas 4-2 to sweep the first round of the MLS playoff matches 2-0. All right, the Stars rallied late in the third period to earn a point in suburban Miami. Mikko Rantanen tipped home the tying goal, but after overtime, it was still 3-3. The Panthers then scored the only shootout goal to beat Dallas 4-3. The Stars are back home on Tuesday night to play Edmonton. All right, the Stars play Anaheim Thursday night on Fox 4, and our coverage starts at 6 o'clock. All right, Mavs fans in Mexico City got their first chance to see Cooper Flagg up close. He scored 12 points in last night's game. Dallas trailed most of the night, but D'Angelo Russell put the Mavs ahead. He led the team with 31 points, but the Pistons got their motor running in the fourth quarter. Arlington's Cade Cunningham scored 21 points. The Mavs are going to lose this one to Detroit. Say that 3 times. To Detroit, the Pistons, 122-110. They're going to play Houston tomorrow night.
And that sun's already up across North Texas. We fell back through the overnight, so we had that earlier sunrise. Plenty of sunshine as you step out the door. We had that weaker cold front that tracked through yesterday afternoon. That dropped our temperatures through the overnight. Most of us are in the 40s, but we still have some of our northern counties in the upper 30s. We're sitting at 45 degrees at Alliance Airport, 47 degrees at DFW, 48 at Love Field. We've still got those calm winds coming out of the north, bringing in that cooler air, but you can see that weak cold front has well tracked off to the east. High pressure is now going to dominate North Texas. That's going to bring dry conditions for today and through the entire work week. Afternoon highs today are going to be seasonably cool. We're going to be in the upper 60s across the area. Again, nothing but sunshine. We had that earlier sunrise. That means we have an earlier sunset. That sun will set around 5:30 this evening. We'll start to see those winds shift out of the south as we head into the afternoon hours. It's going to bring warmer temperatures tomorrow and through the overnight. Waking up tomorrow morning, we'll be at 48 in Weatherford, 50 here in Fort Worth, 50 degrees in McKinney, waking up to 50 degrees in Dallas, and 46 in Kaufman. So here's the pattern we're dealing with. We've got that weak cold front that's tracking off to the east right now. That's why we still have those cooler temperatures today. But as we head into tomorrow, that high pressure is going to start taking over North Texas, and it's just going to kind of sit over our area as we head into the work week. That's going to be drying us out and warming us up. Here's a look at those temperatures. Enjoy these fall-like temperatures because we're going to be above average by the time we get to tomorrow. 69 degrees is that forecasted high for today. By tomorrow, 76 degrees, 78 for your Tuesday. By midweek, we're in the low 80s. 82 degrees, that's about 10 degrees warmer than that average high. Normally around 72 degrees this time of year, and it doesn't look like relief is in sight from those warmer temperatures. Looking at the end of next week, heading into next week as well, tracking well above average temperatures. And again, that high pressure is going to be warming us up, but it's also going to be drying us out. We're not tracking a rain chance for the entire work week, even as we head head into the weekend. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Enjoy these cooler temperatures. We'll be in the upper 60s this afternoon. Again, plenty of sunshine. We'll start to see those winds shift out of the southeast this afternoon. That'll be warming us up starting tomorrow. 76 for your Monday. We'll be in the upper 70s for your Tuesday with breezy conditions. By midweek, we're back into the low 80s. Make sure you check out the Dallas Stars right here on Fox 4. That'll be on Thursday night. 82 degrees with plenty of sunshine as we head into the weekend. Looks like a nice and pleasant forecast. A little bit warmer than average, but temperatures will be in the low 80s. Rain-free conditions, lots of sunshine.
All righty. Thank you, Julia. The Cowboys went through one of their final workouts before Monday night's home game against Arizona. But prior to turning the clocks back an hour, defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus and the Cowboys got some good news regarding whether Allen High School's Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett will play quarterback courtesy of Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon.
Looking at the week of work today, Kyler is not going to be ready to start the game, so Jacoby will start. I do want to give it the next couple days to see if Kyler could possibly have a role on game day.
Kyler Murray has never lost at AT&T Stadium. He's won all 9 games, whether it's high school, college, or in the NFL. That includes 2 games against the Cowboys as well. Well, the FBI are now investigating an explosion at a Harvard medical school. Why they believe it was intentional, coming up. Aiming to improve the nation's disaster response, how emergency management agencies from around the country are voicing their opinions on Capitol Hill. All right, welcome back. It's 7:21 and almost 50 degrees if you're stepping out the door this Sunday morning. Well, police in Boston are looking for 2 people in connection to what's being called an intentional explosion at a Harvard medical school. It happened early Saturday morning. A university police officer who responded to a fire alarm says 2 people ran away from the campus building where the alert was triggered. The Boston Fire Department determined the blast was intentional, but police never found an explosive device during a sweep of the building. No one was hurt, but students and staff were shocked by the incident.
I think it's sad and yeah, shocked, because I wonder like why they would do it, and like if people were there, like they could cause like a harm to someone.
The FBI is assisting Harvard and Boston police in their investigation. The United Nations says hundreds of thousands of children have been affected by Hurricane Melissa's devastation. The UN Children's Fund, known as UNICEF, says Melissa has impacted about 700,000 children across the Caribbean region. Well, the Category 5 hurricane hit Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic this week with record-level winds and rain, leaving a heavy toll on displaced children and families and affecting not only infrastructure, but healthcare and education as well.
Community and the authorities are working hard to clean up all the roads, but it's very, very difficult to access. And we are seeing the people with anxiety trying to reach their relatives, their parents, and they are stuck in the road. I mean, it's impossible because the amount of trees that have fallen down is amazing, and all the roads are blocked.
UNICEF teams say they are appealing to the international community to help. Well, for nearly 50 years, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, has been the source for disaster relief, but it's increasingly facing scrutiny. This week, county emergency management officials from around the country, including Texas, were in Washington asking lawmakers to support changes to FEMA in legislation working its way through the House. Fox 4's Sean Rabb reports.
When natural disasters bring devastation, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, stands up the nation's response.
Counties are really on the front lines of disaster response and especially recovery, which lasts for a long time after the disaster.
Cody Powell is Wise County Emergency Management Director. In D.C. this week, as part of the National Association of Counties Governmental Task Force on Disaster Response Reform, lobbying lawmakers to pass legislation to improve FEMA, which has dealt with staffing shortages, a clunky system that in some cases delays aid getting to communities, and how that aid is sometimes distributed.
We're here to show our support to the FEMA Act. The FEMA is Fixing Emergency Management for Americans.
The Fixing Emergency Management for Americans Act, which easily passed out of a House committee, would streamline reimbursements to counties from FEMA. It would also make an easier application process for loans and increase transparency with the public dashboard, so anyone can trace requests for help to FEMA. And it would allow counties to know sooner how much funds will they get from the government for recovery.
What is often lost in those stories is the months-long, in some cases years-long recovery that a lot of those local counties and cities are having to go through.
FEMA itself is going through its own storm over alleged political bias in the distribution of aid following major disasters. President Donald Trump has said he wants to either shut down FEMA or reduce its disaster response footprint and let individual states handle response and recovery.
As a task force, we have never felt like just completely abolishing FEMA has ever been a good idea. We need that federal backstop to support local jurisdictions whenever these disasters do happen.
Sean Rabb, Fox 4 News.
Israeli officials say the most recent remains returned to them by Hamas do not belong to any hostages. This is the latest setback to the fragile ceasefire deal in Gaza. Hamas handed over remains of 3 people this week. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says they are not of any hostages and is unsure who they belong to. Health officials in Gaza have struggled to identify bodies without access to DNA tests. Well, according to U.S. and European officials, the Pentagon has given the White House the green light to provide Ukraine with long-range Tomahawk missiles. Tomahawks have a range of around 1,000 miles. The final decision would be in President Trump's hands. Sources say the administration has drawn up plans to provide them to Ukraine quickly should President Trump give the order. The Fort Worth Fire Department says a fire truck is responsible for saving lives at the scene of a crash. We'll tell you why just ahead. Also coming up, a Garland small business is out thousands of dollars after thieves made off with expensive equipment. We'll be right back.
continues at 7:30 a.m. here on Fox 4.
Welcome back. Thanks for starting your morning with us. I'm Tisia Muzinga. Okay, Julia, when I stepped out the door this morning, I definitely needed the jacket. Can we expect a little warm up later today?
A little warm up. It'll be cooler temperatures than we had yesterday. We reached that high of 71 degrees. And take a look at that sunrise yesterday at 7:46 a.m. Well, we fell back through the overnight. That sun rose today at around 6:30 a.m. and that sun will set once again early tonight as well. We'll be slightly cooler tomorrow, today, as we had that weak cold front that tracked through, really dropped our temperatures through the overnight. Stepping out the door, it is chilly. Some of us still in the 30s, sitting at 37 degrees right now in Denton, 36 up in Bonham, 48 here in Dallas, 49 in Hillsborough, sitting at 34 degrees over in Eastland. We'll have seasonably cool temperatures this afternoon, a couple degrees cooler than yesterday, in the upper 60s across North Texas. Plenty of sunshine. That cold front has well tracked off to the east. Through the overnight, it'll be slightly warmer, clear skies. Don't forget that early sunset. Most of us will be in the mid 40s. We'll be in the upper 40s here in the Metroplex. You can see those winds start to shift out of the southeast. That's going to start bringing in warmer air for the work week. So it'll be nice today. Temperatures this afternoon in the upper 60s with lots of sunshine. Don't forget that sun is going to set at 5:30 p.m. We fell back through the overnight. High pressure starts moving into North Texas. That's going to be warming us up near 80 degrees by the time we get to midweek. No rain is in sight as that high pressure dries us out. I'll have that full forecast for you coming up.
All right, thank you. Well, the Fort Worth Fire Department says a fire truck saved multiple lives after shielding people from a crash on Saturday. Firefighters were called to a crash on Highway 287 southeast of downtown Fort Worth. They used the truck to block incoming traffic while they examined the crash site. Now, as the last firefighter stepped out, a pickup truck collided with the fire engine. The two people that crashed into the fire engine had to be removed from their vehicle. They were sent to a local hospital. No firefighters were injured, and the department says the truck's placement saved the lives of the crew and driver at the crash site. They urge drivers to pay attention to emergency vehicles and to slow down on the roadways. A Garland landscaping business is dealing with a $12,000 loss after its truck and trailer were stolen. Surveillance video shows someone driving off with the truck and the trailer behind it full of equipment. The trailer, which is bright pink, was found, but most of the equipment is gone. Fox 4's Vanya Castillo reports.
A Garland family woke up to find their truck and almost $13,000 worth of equipment for their landscaping business stolen straight from their yard. Now, the Martinezes tell us it's not just about the loss of business, but the journey they're trying to help keep young men on the straight and narrow.
I was like, don't you want to stand out just a little bit? You know, let's do something different. Let's change it up. Why not go pink?
It's hard to miss Carlos Martinez. You'll usually see him decked out in pink, wearing a cowboy hat and driving a truck with a pink trailer. His company, Good as New, is known in Garland as the Pink Landscapers. His wife is the brain of the operation.
Everybody asked me, like, how did you come up with the idea? And my wife did. She's the queen. I just followed what she said.
Monday morning, he woke up to a call from his son.
Hey, Dad, where's the truck and trailer? I'm like, what do you mean? I immediately look at the camera because the camera's in our room. Gone. This is where they came in. They cut all the wires right here.
His truck and pink trailer carrying all of his equipment had been stolen from the front of his house. But with a bright pink trailer, it wasn't long before his truck was found 45 minutes later. But over $12,000 worth of equipment was gone.
It hurt us not just because of financially, but for my kids. I'm an ex-gang member myself. And me growing up, we didn't have people saying, hey, let's work for this money, or hey, you can go do this instead, or you don't have to sell drugs. We didn't have that. I like to provide that.
Martinez uses his business to help teach discipline and responsibility to kids at risk of going down the wrong path.
So it's hurting them. They haven't worked a day this week. And they're like, oh, what did he? And they're texting me. My men, my boys are texting me, hey, Mr. Carlos, hey, Dad, hey, Uncle, we'll work for free until, we get back to where we need to get. That touched my heart. It let me know that I'm doing right.
Martinez was in the process of expanding his business when everything was stolen.
So now, instead of moving forward, now we're going backwards and have to start all over again.
we've gotten a few friends that have offered to lend us tools or things like that until we get on our feet. But at the end of the day, it's still not enough to put all the boys to work.
Now, the Garland Police Department tells us that they're still working on locating the tools and equipment that were stolen. The Martinezes say they're using this as a learning lesson. Vania Castillo, Fox 4 News.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is promising to continue talks with China. He says the country's aggression in the South China Sea has, quote, increased. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
While the U.S. and China eased economic tensions this week, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is still slamming Beijing for its recent aggressive actions in the South China Sea. While meeting with defense partners in Malaysia, Hegseth acknowledged the U.S. values its critical face-to-face talks with China's president and defense minister this week, but he urged Southeast Asian nations to strengthen their maritime forces after a Chinese Coast Guard ship fired a water cannon and rammed a Philippine government vessel earlier this month.
China's behavior toward its neighbors and the world is a wake-up call. Dialogue is important. But inside that dialogue, we are most importantly watching actions very closely. We seek peace. We do not seek conflict. But we must ensure that China is not seeking to dominate you or anybody else.
In South Korea, the APEC summit wraps up where Chinese President Xi Jinping still took center stage. With President Trump back in the U.S., Xi called on Asia-Pacific countries to support free trade and work together during what he called turbulent times, likely a reference to Trump's worldwide tariffs. But Xi was successful in getting Trump to roll back his fentanyl tariffs on China from 20% to 10% during their sit-down Thursday. And President Trump says if China does its part to stop the flow of fentanyl, he'll fully eliminate it.
As soon as we see that, we'll get rid of the other 10%. But we're going to have a great relationship with them, I think, for a long period of time. If we have a smart president, we'll have a great relationship. If we don't have a smart president, which is also a very strong possibility, then we won't have a great relationship. But China is... the meeting with China was incredible.
Secretary Hegseth denied reports that the U.S. is getting ready to stage a show of force against the Chinese in the South China Sea, but says the U.S. has a lot of capabilities in the region. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
President Trump will host the first ever visit by a Syrian president in the White House. A White House official says Ahmad al-Shara is expected to meet with the president on November 10th. President Trump met with the Syrian president in Saudi Arabia in May for the first encounter between two nations' leaders in 25 years. The meeting is seen as a major turn of events for Syria as it has struggled to emerge from international isolation for decades. President Trump is threatening action against Nigeria, saying he has told the Department of War to be ready. He says it's in response to the killing of thousands of Christians. Stephanie Bennett breaks down how we got here.
President Donald Trump is asking officials to immediately look into this matter, taking to Truth Social and writing in part, Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern, saying something must be done. He's asking Congressman Riley Moore, Chairman Tom Cole, and the House Appropriations Committee to look into it and report back.
I think this is going to make a huge difference, and we're going to get right to work on this and get to the bottom of what's happening and give President Trump a full menu of options that we can use to try to stop these killings.
Congressman Moore says there's about 15 possible options, including suspension of security assistance and targeted sanctions. Nigeria is considered one of the most dangerous places in the world to be a Christian, according to the well-regulated Open Doors International Group. Over the years, thousands of Christians have been killed in churches, schools, and entire villages have been burned. Some even brand it genocide. The Nigerian government vowed Saturday to keep fighting violent extremism and said it hoped Washington would remain a close ally. Some analysts blame the country's inability to protect its citizens as a wide spectrum of armed groups operate across the country, including Boko Haram, who's also killed thousands of Muslims.
I think fundamentally Nigeria is a failed state. Corruption is simply out of control. So are the kinds of resources that should be there. It is a major exporter of oil, so it should be a rich country, but a lot of it gets diverted through corruption. So they don't have the resources in order to provide their security forces what they need in order to fight back.
Earlier this year, Washington approved $346 million in arms for Nigeria to fight back against these criminal groups. In London, Stephanie Bennett, Fox News.
Stay tuned for Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bream. It airs at 8 right here on Fox 4. All right, SMU fans, well, it gives its fans, I should say, a chance to cheer something no Mustang has seen in more than 50 years. We'll show you in Good Day. Sunday continues. So actually, that's SMU game. And then before that, we were talking about the Mean Green. They had a great game as well. We're going to have those highlights in sports. College football is coming up next.
SMU on the verge of history. Hardy, trick or treat, Dallas.
All righty, look at that. The party on the Hilltop continues as SMU shocked number 10 Miami. The 26-20 overtime victory is the Mustangs' first home win over an AP Top 10 team since 1974. Senior TJ Harden scored the game-winning touchdown. Give that man whatever he wants. SMU improves to 6-3.
Inside the 5. Hawkins running through a tackle.
Alrighty, football fans are still celebrating in Denton. Caleb Hawkins ran for 197 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Mean Green beat Navy 31-17. North Texas improves to 8-1.
Williams, a tailback, gets around the edge. Big block from Carter. He'll cut it back. Williams is gone. Touchdown.
Number 13, Texas Tech continues its march to the Big 12 title game with an impressive road win over Kansas State. Jacoby Williams ran for 135 yards and Baron Morton threw 2 touchdown passes in the Red Raiders' 43-20 victory. Tech is 8-1.
Manning comes out swinging to Ryan Wingo. Down the far sideline. He's going to go all the way. On the first play of the game.
Look look at them go. Number 20, Texas sent a message to the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. Saturday in Austin, Arch Manning started the game with a 79-yard touchdown pass to Ryan Wingo, and Manning threw for 328 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Longhorns built a big lead, then held on to beat number 9 Vanderbilt 34-31. Texas is 7-2, and I know you watched that game, and I'm sure you were just like holding your breath the entire, well, not the entire time, but towards
the entire time.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm so ready for a game where I can just relax and not have a almost heart attack. We were winning the whole game, and then it just kind of fell apart at the end. But I will say I'm so proud of Arch. People have been so hard on him, and he had such a good game. I know. That was tough to see.
Alone.
Leave him alone. He did such a good job, and that was a fantastic game. Kudos to Diego. That was a good comeback that they had.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so some of us did get a little bit of rain yesterday. They were just some light showers. That was ahead of a weak cold front that tracked through. Temperatures dropped through the overnight. Take a look at that temperature difference from this time yesterday. Anywhere from 4 to 19 degrees cooler. Yeah, we've still got those winds coming out of the north, bringing in that colder air. Most of us in the 40s, some of us still in the upper 30s, sitting at 45 degrees at Alliance Airport, 47 at DFW Airport, 48 at Love Field. You can see plenty of sunshine. That cold front tracked through, really dried us out. It's going to be a gorgeous day. High pressure has taken over North Texas. Nothing but clear skies. We did get a little bit of rain yesterday. It was just kind of a mist, so it was a little bit more annoying than anything. You can see those rainfall totals really not impressive. Less than 1/10 of an inch from some of those areas. We did fall back through the overnight, so we had an earlier sunrise. That means an earlier sunset. It's going to set around 5:30 this evening. Temperature-wise, it's going to be cool in the upper 60s this afternoon, so slightly below average for this time of year. We'll start to see those winds shift out of the south-southeast. That's going to start bringing in warmer air as we head into the work week. Through the overnight, temperatures will be slightly warmer than they were this morning. We'll be near 50 degrees here in the Metroplex. Our outer counties will be in the mid to upper 40s. So here's that pattern we're dealing with. We've got that weak cold front that's tracking off to the east. High pressure from the west is going to be moving into North Texas as we head into tomorrow, and then it's just going to be sitting over North Texas. So we're going to be dry and we're going to be warming up as we head into the work week. Enjoy these fall-like temperatures today because we're back to above average starting tomorrow. 76 degrees for your Monday, 78 for your Tuesday. By the time we reach midweek, we're expected to be in the low 80s, 82 degrees for your Wednesday. That's about 10 degrees warmer than that average for this time of year, normally around 72 degrees. And again, we're going to be drying out as well. High pressure means fair weather. You're not going to need that umbrella for the entire work week, and it looks like as we extend into the weekend as well. Temperatures today will be cool in the upper 60s with plenty of sunshine. We'll start to see those winds shift out of the south-southeast, start bringing in warmer air as we head into your work week. 76 degrees for your Monday, plenty of sunshine. Tuesday through Thursday, we do have breezy conditions. By the time we get to Wednesday, we're already in the low 80s once again. Thursday, make sure to check out the Dallas Stars right here on Fox 4. That'll be Thursday evening, 82 degrees. Heading into the weekend, nice and pleasant conditions. Sunshine, rain-free conditions, low 80-degree temperatures.
All right, Julia, thanks. And this week's Here and Now, how a nonprofit is working to end child hunger in Texas and support families during the government shutdown. welcome back. Here's a live look at the airport this morning. It's almost 50 degrees out there. Definitely put on a jacket if you're stepping outside. And it's 9 minutes to 8 o'clock at this hour. All right, a nonprofit called No Kid Hungry Texas is working to end child hunger in our state. Now, the group is working to support children and their families affected by the government shutdown. Fox 4's Sean Rabb has more in this week's Here and Now.
I'm talking with Stacy Sanchez-Hare, director of No Kid Hungry Texas, as we are at a critical juncture this week with the government shutdown and looming large now, what seems to be imminent, no SNAP funds for 3.5 million Texans, almost half of those children.
We know that this is something that is just going to have a dramatic effect on not just the families who receive benefits, but the food banks who won't have the capacity to meet this gap in the federal reimbursement from EBT. And so it's going to have a ripple effect, Sean, truly, from everybody from the families receiving it to the grocers who don't get that EBT reimbursement. I know it's easy sometimes to be like, well, I'm not on SNAP, this doesn't affect me, but this is truly something that affects us all.
In 2019, the shutdown, 35 days, right. Then SNAP was funded through the same emergency funding dollars that now the administration is saying cannot be used for this emergency stopgap funding.
That's right. And that's what makes it also just so unconscionably cruel, in my opinion, because there is a SNAP contingency fund for emergency situations just like this. A government never wants to starve its own people. So there's 100% a means to say, we will, even though the government is shut down, we will continue to make sure that families receive the lifeline that is SNAP benefits. To not do this when there is funding, when there is food, is just morally reprehensible.
The USDA has said states cannot serve as a safety net in terms of covering the cost of SNAP, for example, in Texas, the $614 million, that the state can't do that. But some states are, in fact, rushing resources to food banks so they are able to go acquire more food. Is that happening in Texas or not?
That is not happening in Texas. We are seeing donations from the business community. For example, HEB was in the news recently about giving, I believe it was $6 million to Feeding Texas, which is the organization that oversees all the food banks in the state. And, while every donation, every dollar is needed, it is a drop in the bucket of the gap left by the federal, what the federal reimbursements would give.
Senator John Cornyn, one of our Texas senators, has signed on, a co-signer of a proposed emergency funding bill that Hawley from Missouri proffered that would provide funding for Texans on SNAP. Do you have any sense whether that's going to get up and get through the House and Senate?
This is the first I'm hearing of it, Sean, to tell you the truth. I read an op-ed, it was in the New York Times, from Senator Josh Hawley, and, really spoke to it as a humanitarian crisis and a crisis of faith, a crisis of conscience. That's really interesting. And if that is what is happening, then yes, we would love to learn more about it and figure out how we can support. We do an annual survey every year about the state of hunger in Texas. This is our 4th year doing it. And this was the first year that I ever saw people write things in the open-ended session about how it's affecting their mental health, the lack of food and food insecurity in their home. And for the first time, we were seeing incredibly eye-opening things from folks like, people may be experiencing suicidal ideation because they are unable to bring food and put it, like parents of school-aged children. And so, as food continues to get more expensive and now the benefits are disappearing, we are just in a perfect storm for real harm to come to our most vulnerable Texans.
We all have to hope and pray that light shines in this dark tunnel soon, and very soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, for more information on resources, including how you can donate to help others or find food if you need it, just visit their website, nokidhungry.org. All right, let's go ahead and take a look what's happening this week, shall we? Election day is Tuesday, and while you're not voting for a president, obviously, there are 17 amendments on the state constitution, multiple local and state proposals on the ballot, and DART wants you to make sure that you get there on time, especially to the polls. So buses and rains will get voters to their local polling location for free. The Go Link, Dallas Streetcar, and paratransit services are also free. So if you need to use Trinity Railway Express, those train rides are free between EBJ Union Station and Centerport DFW Airport. Trinity Metro in the Fort Worth area will also be providing free rides to get voters to the polls. And people looking for work can also take advantage of Tuesday's Red, White, and You job fair at Globe Life Field in Arlington. More than 165 businesses will have someone there ready to interview prospective employees. There are over 10,000 jobs that need to be filled here. So the job fair starts at 10 o'clock in the morning and runs until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There is no charge for parking lots. A and R at Globe Life Field. Again, A and R at Globe Life Field. Just for more information, you can just go ahead to Texas Workforce Commission's website at twc.texas.gov. And some of the finest Texas women will be inducted into the Texas Women's Hall of Fame. Governor Greg Abbott and Texas First Lady Cecilia Abbott will be at Texas Women's University in Denton to enshrine the class of 2025. Aerospace engineer Dr. Bonnie Dunbar, former State Supreme Court Justice and Honorable Eva Guzman, and President and CEO Vicki Halub, they will all be joined by Adair Margot for her contributions to the arts community, and Dr. Christine Nix for her almost 50 years of service as a U.S. Army Reserve officer. Congrats to them. How cool is that? Love that.
That's amazing. And you know what else is amazing?
Yeah.
This weather.
Woo! I love it.
It's a gorgeous end to our weekend. Plenty of sunshine. We've got cooler temperatures in the upper 60s this afternoon. High pressure takes over. We're going to be warming up for the work week. By the time we get to midweek, we'll be in the low 80s. Rain-free conditions. Make sure you check out the Dallas Stars right here on Fox 4. That game will be on Thursday evening. We'll stay in the low 80s through the weekend.
All righty. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you for helping us out this weekend, my girl.
I enjoyed it.
Yes, we love it. Okay, thank you guys also for tuning in. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock. Have a good day.